everybody. Hi, my name is Carol Delmonico. I'm Joshua's campaign manager. When Joshua asked me to be his campaign manager, I was excited, extremely excited, and terrified. Terrified because I've never done anything like this before, but excited because Joshua was running for city council. Very excited. Joshua, I've known Joshua for many years. He's a young man that has integrity and honor. And I think we all need a little bit of that on the city council for East Providence.
Yes.
Joshua knows what we as citizens of East Providence deal with on a day-to-day basis. He's a small business owner. He owns 3 small businesses in the city. He also owns his own home. Him and Nancy own their own home in the city, and they have children that are going to going through the East Providence school system. So he's a man that understands what it's like to truly be a citizen in this city and what it will take to turn this city into the city that it used to be.
Excuse me. Thank you, Carol. I apologize that my voice is basically gone. Can you hear me back there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sound awful. But anyway, about 32 years ago, my wife and I, we were newlyweds, and we were planning to have a family. And we selected East Providence to come and raise our family. It was a nice town. And as we moved, she found out that she was expecting. So Joshua was born in the city of East Providence. He was always involved in the city, and he went through the school system, and his businesses are in East Providence. So he is a true townie. As a young boy, my wife and I knew Josh had a caring heart. You know, he may look like tough at times, but he's really very sensitive. And the reason I say that is because at the age of 9, 10 years old, he had a heart for the homeless. And as he got older, he traveled to third world countries to do humanitarian work. He went to India, he went to Haiti, and he was always involved with people. We knew that he had a heart to work with people. And then in the church, he was also very involved in youth programs and eventually became a youth leader. And as he progressed in life, he is now the executive pastor of the church that we founded together as a family a few years back. So he's been very active. He has that personality that he just wants to reach out. And he wants to be involved in people's lives and their needs. Besides that, we know that he's a very hard young worker. To his church, and I believe his employer, he is trustworthy. He's committed. Throughout his 30 years, he's been an honorable son. We're very proud of him. He's also been an overprotective brother. I remember my oldest daughter's first date. He made sure that the guy knew he had a gun. I don't believe he did. You know, he's been a loyal friend to many, and especially a faithful man of God. I just wanted to give you a little background of who he is as a person. As a minister, you know, God instructs us in His Word, and as we meditated, it says, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there's anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. And these are the very things that are lacking in our society today. And I believe, as a young man, that God's been molding over the years. I believe that God's been molding him to do good at what his heart intends to do. So for a time like this, we believe that Joshua will be a trustworthy, and he will help bring positive change to our city. So ladies and gentlemen, Please join me in welcoming our candidate to represent Ward 2 in East Providence. Give it up to Joshua Lewis.
Good evening. Hopefully you all have full bellies and a good time so far. I appreciate you all taking the time to come out and join us today. It's very exciting to see a lot of my friends and family, a lot of new faces that I haven't quite gotten to know yet, but I intend to. And, I'm just glad to have your support. Before I start, I'd just like to take a moment to recognize and thank a few people. First, I'd like to recognize that we do have some people in the room that are already public servants. We have a couple of school committee members, Mr. Joe Montero, Mr. Tony Pereira. As the PTA president over at White Neck, these two guys have been really instrumental in helping us as we continue our battle to get our playground. And we're doing some good things in the school system. We have a former school committee member here, Millie Morris. I didn't get to meet her before today, but I'm so happy you're here. We also have a former school committee member and a candidate for the city council at large, Mr. Bob Roderick. Bob is an awesome guy. And we have former school committee member, David Medeiros. Where's David Medeiros? There you go. When I started talking about running for office, when I started feeling that it was the right time and the right thing to do, I was told by a good friend of mine that I was crazy. Someone who I have a lot of respect for, I'd like to also say thank you to, is Mr. Dave Clemente. I remember walking into Dave's office. And I told him, I says, Dave, I'm thinking about running for city council. He says, Josh, don't do it. He says, you got kids, what are you, nuts? And then I told him, I said, I think I'm serious. He said, all right. And so Dave's been a great resource to us. He's been helping us out a lot. I'd like to thank especially Carol Delmonico as well for taking on being my campaign manager. But most importantly, I'd like to take a moment to thank my family, my friends, my wife, my kids, my parents, my church family. To do this took a lot of support. As many of you know, I'm a busy guy, and this was a hard decision to make. But with your support, it made me comfortable and excited for this new endeavor. So thank you to you guys as well. And I want to make a quick shout out to my little PTA table there. My vice president's here tonight with a couple of our parents. So Marlene, how you doing? But when I embarked on this journey, I was very cautious about what I'd be getting myself into. I was nervous, thinking to myself, what is it that I'm signing on for? Am I capable? Am I worthy? Am I going to be the right man for the job? Am I going to be able to take the trust of the residents here in our ward and put that trust in a safe and valuable place? Am I going to be able to represent the wants and the needs of the citizens appropriately in a way that they could be proud to call me their representative? And right from the start, I had this overwhelming support from a few people, and it started with like a little ripple effect. It started with one or two, and then it continued on and on. And the more support that I got, the more I realized this was the right time, this was the right moment, this is the right instance to get involved, because East Providence needs some change. My parents both came to this country when they were young, and I was the first generation born here. And when my parents came to this country with their families, they came here looking for the American dream. Fast forward a little while later, they get married. They happen to be neighbors. They lived across the street from each other. They get married. They start planning their life together. And East Providence was that city where the Portuguese people that came with a dream would look to come and start their future, to raise their families, to get into a good school system, to get into houses that, it may not seem like much when you first get them, because Lord knows our house was definitely not at the top of the price point list. But we got what we can get to come into this city. And many years later, they still live in that same home. You see, there was a pride of being an East Providence townie. There was a certain level of pride that you had when you told people where you lived. It was like you were waiting for people to call you out and say, hey, where are you from? And you would anxiously jump out of your skin to say, hey, I'm from East Providence. I am a townie. It was a time when you were proud to go to the schools here. It was a time when you were proud to raise your family here. It was a time where this was the place to be. It was a time where people had dreams. And residents here work together to reach those dreams. I believe that we've strayed a little bit from those ideals. I believe that it's a time now where we can get back to some of these key things that were quite important in making East Providence what it once was. First, I believe we need to control and prioritize East Providence's spending. You know, when it comes to spending, I've gotten a little bit of an opportunity to look at it from a few different coins. As a business owner, I've had to balance my company's finances. As a municipal employee working for the police department in Pawtucket, I've gotten to renegotiate and negotiate deals with vendors and new products. I've gotten to see from the inside of a municipality how budgeting works and how everything plays out on the internal workings of city government. As a member of the union and as a member of our last negotiating team, I got the experience of being able to be part of a bargaining unit where we negotiated the contract for my fellow union members. You see, I've been able to see this on two sides of the coin. I've been able to see it as a private citizen and as a civil servant in my employment. I feel that with these expertise, we can bring some new perspective to our council. I feel that if we build our council to have a team that has the same minded goal, which is making this city better in our financial status, and if we work together to reach this goal, we can bring East Providence back to a financial future that we once had. Second, I believe we need to invest in our ailing schools. This is a little special to me because I am the PTA president at White Neck. I do get to see it from the inside. I do get to see how sometimes it's a battle for the schools to get what they need or for the school committee to get what they need. I believe that we need to have a council that will work well hand in hand with our school committee to make things happen. I have a lot to lose here because I went through these schools. My kids are going through these schools. I just figured out that I'm going to be locked into White Neck for another 5 years. Thank you. We're not going anywhere. We still have that sense of townie pride. It's sad when we see our educators in our classrooms in disrepair. It's sad when we see things in a state where they're kind of similar to what I was dealing with when I was in school. I was looking at a picture the other day, and it was kind of funny because it was a picture of this ceiling tile section of a classroom. And I remember when I was in school, that same ceiling tile looked the same way. I feel like as a team we can work on this. As townies, we can make these things right. Finally, I feel that we need to create an economic climate that will attract business investment and jobs. Listen, I got 3 businesses in this city. Lord knows that all 3 of them were hard to start. Lord knows the stuff that we have to go through to survive in this business climate. I believe that we need to get this climate adjusted to have businesses thrive here. Through having successful business owners, entrepreneurs are the main employers in our country. Small businesses employ most of the unemployed that are out there. By making this a place that thrives with business ownership, if we make East Providence a city where business owners are jumping to get in the door, we can not only be beneficial to our residents through employment and gain, but the city benefits as well through the extra income. I want to, as councilman, advocate for a better business climate. Listen, I'm not going to take too much of your time tonight. I know that you all have things that you can be doing. Again, I appreciate you being here, but I am so excited for the potential opportunity to serve you, the people of East Providence. I know that I represent Ward 2, but I know that as a council in whole, we represent all of East Providence. And as we work together, we can make East Providence back to that pride we had. I believe that we need to secure the future for our next generation. And I feel that with the council working together, with the school committee working together with the council as well, we can secure the future for the next generation to come and the generation after that. I'd love to see my kids and my grandkids grow up with townie pride. I feel that alongside my fellow candidates and our current councilman, as well as with the school committee members who have shown their continued commitment, we can make these things happen. I also feel very strongly that with the new strong mayor system of government, that's right, Bob De Silva is running for mayor. I feel that when Bob becomes our next mayor, working hand in hand with the council and with the school committee, we can get things done here at EP. In all, it's a short mission. Restore townie pride. Bring East Providence back to where it was. Make it a better place to live for our residents. Get this place back to where we were. Sometimes you got to look back to go forward. I look forward to your support. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. You don't have to go anywhere. We have plenty of food back there. Please take some time and hang out if you have some time. If you're still hungry, please eat, because Lord knows we can't do anything with that food in my house. I don't want to eat it all. So I appreciate you all coming out, and I thank you for your time.